Blog Talk Radio.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to Losing Your Parents International Radio Show. My name is Lisa A. Snyder. I lost both parents to cancer at 22 and 27. I now work to inspire others on my blog, losingyourparents.org, and journeying through my own grief and healing process using creativity and self-expression. My intention is to always connect those of us who have lost our mothers or fathers or both parents at any age through the arts, life experiments, looking inward, and turning pain into something positive. So let's talk about stuff that's hard, ways that you can move forward in your life, and how to get back to a happier place. Happy Hump Day. I'm experimenting with Wednesdays as my go-to day. I'd like to give a shout out to my friend Selwa. Today is her 50th birthday. Happy birthday, Selwa. I'm also excited to share with you that I'm going to be interviewed by Genevieve from Surviving Life After a Parent Dies. She lost her dad as a young teen and has put this website together to help other young folks deal with the loss of a parent. I'll be posting an interview when it comes out, and it's abbreviated as SLAP, and the website is slapc.com. Today I'm going to be talking about tips for feeling alive, liberated, and free after the death of a parent. This episode is actually pre-recorded, but I'll be hanging out in the chat room and experimenting with that for the next half hour. So I want to visit what rejuvenates you, what makes you feel alive, liberated, and free. I'm going to be taking myself on a date on this episode and discuss what I call the vacuum effect after a parent dies and experimenting with what kind of space can be made from the inside.
Greetings, Lisa A. Snyder here. I'm happy to report that I took myself out on a date. This weekend was a really, really beautiful time to just be with myself, to take myself out on a date. Catherine was out of town, and she was out on a group bike ride, and I thought, what do I want to do? And sometimes I get caught up in other people's work and what other people want to do, and I'm very somehow drawn to what do you want to do? And I guess I'm pretty laid back in some senses, because I just want people to be happy, and I just want to hang out with them sometimes, but it was really good to just hang out with myself. And yesterday I worked on my podcast, and I Skyped with some friends on the East Coast, which I was really loving and missing them, and it was very fulfilling to hang out with them. And I did spend some time with my friend Callie, and we went to a party, and I talked to some people, and it was really good conversation, and went to bed really late last night and woke up really late and took up the whole bed, and it was like, what do I want to do today? And I didn't have any timeline, which was very freeing for me. And sometimes what I notice is the most freeing is to play a game with myself where time doesn't matter, and I feel like my insides are just smiling whenever I give myself that, and whenever I give myself the choice to go somewhere or not, and I could change my mind in an instant and nobody is affected. That makes me really happy. And spending time with yourself is is key to being able to listen to what's going on inside you. Your emotions now have some room to move around, and there's nobody else to disappoint or please or give into or listen to or not listen to, and you're not distracted by other people's energy and their life and all that. You're just with yourself. And so you can hear your thoughts and you can hear your feelings, and then you can make more sense of them. so I was like, what do I want to do? And I was like, oh, maybe I'll go to yoga. And then I noticed that there's a time involved there. I was like, oh, I have to be somewhere at a certain time. And I noticed the feeling like fading away, and how much I always think, oh, I just want to be able to go to yoga like every day and be that kind of person. And the reality is that I'm not right now. You know, I have like a weird foot injury too, so I have to take that into consideration. Like, do I want to irritate it? Do I need to care about it, you know? And so I decided, nope, I don't want to go to yoga. What do I want to do? I was like, oh, I really want an iced Borgia. And, you know, I didn't even know what an iced Borgia was until Catherine got one for me at this place called Affogato. And we live in Portland, Oregon. And it's Affogato is in St. John's, and we live in St. John's. And, oh my God, it's like an orange peel in a mocha, an iced mocha with 2 shots of espresso. And, oh, it is incredible. Very, very pleasurable. And I really enjoy life's pleasures. And that's something I learned about myself along the way, is that I just accept that, you know, like a positive, pleasurable experience could be like a simply delicious iced Borgia. And I was like, I want that. And I went and I got one. The chick even accidentally rang me up for a lower price, and I was like, wait, isn't that $5, not $4.50? And I actually thought it was $5.50. So, and isn't it funny that we spend so much money on like big coffees? But I thought it was very special. Like, she made it, and I was like, you know, I just want to walk in the sunshine and explore my part of Portland and see if the new sandwich shop is open. And there's this place called, I think it's Bunk Sandwiches. Not Bunk. What the hell is it? I don't know. It's not Bunk. It's a new place. I obviously don't know the name of it, but I was like, I gotta try their sandwiches, and oh my God, I had like a delicious turkey and avocado sandwich with some kind of like tomato spread that they make out. They made that spread there, and I sat outside, and I was just like really basking in the glory of the day, and that I could do anything I wanted, and how much freedom that felt, and how much I needed to like get off of everybody's timelines, and you know, want everybody needing and wanting me all the time. But that's what it feels like, and I feel like I'm just constantly fulfilling wishes, just like some kind of genie, and I need to like shut off the lamp sometimes, and just fulfill myself and make my wishes come true, even if they're just simple life pleasures. And yeah, and so after my sandwich, I was like, ooh, I actually had to run an errand, and because I have some weird foot issue going on, I had gotten these special ped things that go underneath the inserts of your shoes, and they're not really fitting that great. One of them is, and then one of them isn't. The one that is not, I wanted to return. I swore I like went there on a Sunday, and I get to the door, and I drove like probably about 20 minutes, and I get to the door, and it's like closed on Sunday. I'm like, why didn't I think to see what time they were open till? And I made an assumption, and I had a whole like thought process of like, why didn't you? And I was like, who cares? You have the whole day. It's all good. I actually called them and left them a message, and I was like, hey, I'm actually in your parking lot, thought you were open. I think my main concern is that they only take an exchange or return within 1 week, and I was really at the border of that. So I don't know what's going to happen. I hate wasting money, you know. But I moved on quickly, and I was like, where would you like to go, Lisa? And I was like, I don't know, let's just drive. And so I got gas, and I drove, and I found myself wanting and being pulled to drive west. And there's this beautiful place out here in Oregon called Hood River, and it is incredible. About a half an hour, it's an hour outside of Portland, west of Portland, and east of Portland. And so I was driving east, and when I'm driving there, I feel like I always feel like pirates should be out there because they're like these huge mountains when you're driving along the river the entire time, and it's amazing. You're just like, I can't believe this is real. Like, I feel like I'm in a fairy tale, and there's definitely going to be a pirate ship like swimming around when I turn the bend here. And I just like blasted music and was just blissing out, and I was like listening to like songs over and over again and not being afraid to annoy anybody. And I was like, oh God, I love this. This is freedom for me. Just driving, listening to music loud. I have the windows open and my sunroof open and my hair's flying everywhere and getting greasy. Like, that's what happens to my hair when it's gets tangled and greasy, but I'm like, I don't care. I feel so good right now. And I'm working on my throat chakra, and it was so good to just sing and yell and have the freedom to do that. And so I highly recommend, if you have a car or can get access to a car or can even rent a car, something where you can just be alone. And you can just be alone, listen to music loud, yell, be quiet if you want to, but nobody's telling you what to do. Nobody's telling you to be quiet. Nobody's saying, I'm uncomfortable, stop. Like, that's actually one of my biggest pet peeves, is like people telling me no and people telling me to stop. Because I think I'm pretty cool. And when someone tells me to stop doing whatever it is I'm doing, it makes me crazy. So how can I have that freedom and release the boundaries of other people's comforts, and judgments? Because that locks me up. Like, that emotionally locks me up. And so it's something I've always known, constantly uncovering and rediscovering and being like, wow, yeah, when you feel like you've got too many boundaries and too many people's expectations and fulfilling wishes for people and external, it's like, it's time to go in. And it's part of getting present. It's something I talked about in episode 1. Getting present, going internal, listening and fulfilling yourself from the inside out. That is how you can begin to face your loneliness, like the loneliness that you feel inside of yourself when you don't have your parents anymore. Because, they used to provide this like love for you, right? Like this unconditional love, hopefully. We all had different relationships with our parents, and that all comes into consideration when you've lost them and all the pieces of the relationship that you've lost. But the loneliness you feel, you have to be your own best friend, and you have to decide to be committed to yourself. And I listen to all of these songs about love and loving other people and how much heartbreak people have had, and they sing about it, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm like breaking my own heart when I'm not in tune with myself, and I'm like looking externally for other people to care or love or show affection in some way or whatever. And it's part of the vacuum effect that happens. And I don't know if you can identify with this, but I call it the vacuum effect, and I'm playing around with if that's what I'm going to call it, but I kind of do right now, the vacuum effect. It's really just, it's like death brings this vacuum, and suddenly this person isn't there, their energy isn't there, and you're suddenly wanting them and wanting, and that's external. It's external wanting, and it's like a never-ending vacuum of want, and you can get really crazy and out of control with how that plays out in your life. And you have to be really present and be like, wow, I'm feeling really wanting right now. Like, what can I do for myself? Because it's just this never-ending vibration of like wanting other people to love you, wanting other people to pay attention to you, and it's I think part of it's normal somewhat. I don't think there's ego there. I mean, for some people there is, but mostly it's just like it's a child inside. It's like you're a little child who's like lost their parents, no matter how old or young you are. And inside you're like, someone just love me, just care about me, care about my safety, care about my well-being, care about the fact that I'm even talking. And it can really wrap you up, and you have to be careful. So, spending time with yourself and being your own best friend and deciding, hey, I'm gonna parent myself. I'm going to be there for me. So the void, the vacuum effect, the void. So I want you to, if you're open to it, take a walk by yourself, take a drive by yourself, take a day for yourself, take yourself out on a date. Which, by the way, I feel like I want to finish telling you about my date to myself. So I drove east towards Hood River, and I'm driving along the river and these beautiful mountains, and looks like a pirate ship could just come right around the corner, and I'm just blissing out. And I feel like really fulfilled, like my belly is full from my sandwich and my delicious iced coffee, and I'm just smiling, and the only reason I'm smiling is because I'm feeling so fulfilled in that moment, and I'm the one who's doing that. I'm not getting it from anywhere else. And I got off one exit early and drove through the town of Hood River and decided to stop and just walk around and explore. And I've only been there twice before, and both times I usually get there in the end, towards the end of the day when everything's closed or on a Sunday or something. And it's kind of what happened. I'm getting there at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, but oh my God, this place is out of this world. It's on this mountain and on the river, and you pull into town and you can see the river, and if you go driving over there or even walking over there, you'll see all the people who are kiteboarding and kite surfing. Oh my God, it's incredible to watch and really inspiring, and something that I want to do, or I think I want to do. I've never tried it before. I want to try it out. It just looks so fun. You must have a lot of strength to hold on to the kite and to control it. The wind is crazy. But there's probably 30 people out or 40 people out and their kites are just flying in the air, and they're surfing on the water, and there's just a positive energy in the air. And looking at the mountains and the pine trees and the fir trees, and I just wanted to see something beautiful. I call it free art when it's just so amazingly beautiful in its nature, And and so I saw a store and a couple stores that I was intrigued by, and one of them I went in and I kind of left pretty quickly. It was just one of those boutique-y stores. They have one or two of the shirt that could be interesting, and probably a million in the back, but they make it seem oh, there's only 2 of these, And I was I gotta go. And then I was pulled into this store that was for, I don't know, it was weather friendly. It was for weatherproof and waterproof things, but it was feminine looking, and I never saw a store like that. It's gonna rain a lot here in the winter time, and we've only known half a winter here, but the summers are amazing. They're just so beautiful, and everyone's outside, and this is technically the last weekend of the summer here, and then it's gonna be the equinox and the fall equinox. And So I go to the store, and I really didn't plan on spending any money, but then I was, like, trying on these things, and I was like, my birthday's coming up, and, I really love the freedom of shopping and, just spending my money on myself, and I work really hard. And I think if you work hard and you can afford it, that you can, do what you gotta do and buy yourself something. I went a little overboard. Reminded me of my mom a little bit, but she used to buy like a lot of clothes, and then they would just hang in the closet, and I think that she just liked buying them. But so anyway, I was like, you know what? I like buying myself special things, and that felt really nice. And money is a weird thing. I gotta like talk about that for a second. Money is weird because I worked really hard. I came from, a really great family that supported me, but like the work that I've done to get to where I am in my business and my work, I've worked really hard. I've started from nothing. I was like, I need the internet and my computer, and that's where I'm going to start with my web design business. And, I've been doing that full time since 2006, and I bought a house, and mortgage and all that stuff, but I was able to put a down payment on it, and all from being able to work for myself, and I love that, and I'm thankful. Anyway, so I bought myself some clothes. I also needed some shoes, and I only have a couple pairs of shoes that I wear, and now that I have this foot issue, it's like causing some weird stuff. So I didn't have to, but I decided to I actually did need to get some shoes for inside, because with my foot issue, it's bad to like walk around just barefoot in the house, so I had to get some shoes, and so I bought 2 pairs of shoes, and I don't love them, but I need to do something, like, I need to have something to wear other than the bad shoes that I've been wearing. So shopping was therapeutic. I don't think everybody should go shopping like for therapy, but like buying myself a couple of things, spending my money on myself. I noticed like when I was in the dressing room, I know some people enjoy shopping with me because it's fun to shop, but I also noticed I didn't feel this pressure of like, ooh, I should probably like go faster because the other person's waiting, I didn't feel that pressure. And that felt really nice, and that felt very liberating, and I noticed that, and I was like, oh, this is such the gift of just having the freedom of not needing to like constantly like think about someone else. It's just the alone time is so important. It's so important. And healthy alone time, not like sitting in your room for like 7 days, but getting outside and moving and walking and running. And I didn't run, but I definitely walked. I've been using a pedometer just to see how many steps I've taken. Also, it's very motivating. It's like, ooh, can I get to 10,000 steps today? Let's see how many I'm at today so far. Let's see, what are you at? 6,451. Not quite, but, it was better than 0, So, when I was done, I went to this place called Full Sail Brewing, and it's actually my favorite place right now. It's in Hood River because you can sit out on the patio, and you have the most beautiful view of the mountains and the river and the people kiteboarding, and it is just free art. And I sat by myself, and I wrote a little bit, and I stared out the beautiful window, which was totally open. It's like this open space, and I drank a beer, and I had a delicious like tempeh burger, and I asked for what I wanted, and I didn't love like that they didn't put a lot of sauce on the tempeh burger, so I was like, hey, can I get like that Chipotle stuff? And the chick was like, Chipotle ranch? I was like, yes, like that's what I want, and that was liberating, like asking for what I wanted. And not just being like, oh, I didn't ask for it, never mind. Like, I think sometimes women, we just like put other people's needs first and put our own on the back burner constantly, and then it becomes actually very tiring to like give to people all the time. Whether you have children or not, whether you have a job that you love or not, like, we're just giving to people constantly, and God, it made me be able to breathe. I was so able to breathe. And yeah, after I was done, I was like, oh, I'm gonna go. What do I want to do? What would you like to do? I'd like to walk, and I'd like to get a closer look at the kite people. So I just like drove, and I found where like the kiteboarders like park, and when I pulled in there, it was like a whole other world. It was like people wearing wetsuits, and like people kind of like, it was the sun was starting to set, and most people are sort of, a lot of people were getting out of the water and like getting their gear together, and I was just witness to all these people and like what that kiteboarding looks like, and it's a huge piece of material, like blows up on the edges. I don't even know, but there was also a bunch of rental places and places where you can take lessons, and I'm like, yes, like I definitely want to do that. I'm gonna have to build some upper body strength, and part of me is like, ugh, like I just, sometimes you just want it. You just want it to be. You just want to be strong. You just want to be, whatever. And I just want it to be that way. But you got to work for it. Unfortunately, this world is weird. Okay, you got to work a lot here. You got to work to make money. You got to work on yourself. You got to work on your physical body. You got to work. You got to play though too. That's a thing. You got to make time to play. Otherwise, it's imbalance and it doesn't feel good. So, yeah. So I went there and I parked and I walked around and saw a lot of people's dogs. That's like Portland. A lot of people have dogs, and there's like dog-friendly places and dog-friendly restaurants, and a lot of people have dogs, and so there was a lot of people walking and people with babies, and it was just like a beautiful, beautiful evening, and I sat down and like watched part of the sunset, and the clouds, oh God, they were amazing. They were like spread out into like 10,000 little tiny pieces, and I took some pictures, which I'll hopefully upload here to the podcast, and oh, God. That's what I wanted. I just wanted beauty, and I wanted nature, and I feel rejuvenated by that. And so getting to know yourself and spending time with yourself, what rejuvenates you? What do you feel like, wow, this makes me feel alive. This makes me feel liberated and free inside of myself. What is it? For me, I'm discovering right now in my life, it's going for walks. Being out in nature. It is having a day with no time, where I don't have to be anywhere, I don't have to do anything, there's no like, oh, you must be here at 7 or 11, or, I have this internal anxiety about being somewhere constantly. It's like once one thing is over, there's another, and I need those days for balance. Is it going to a park and staring at the clouds? Is it talking to a friend on the phone? Is it driving around and letting your hair blow around and singing songs loudly? What is it? Is it talking with friends that you miss? What is it? Writing? Do you need to write a journal entry? Do you need to paint a painting? Do you need to sing a song? Do you need to walk yourself through something that feels heavy? Get outside. Do that. Find that thing that makes you feel free, and you're going to find a piece of freedom there that you didn't have before. And it is a part of the walk to finding yourself again after your parents have passed away. It's finding these pieces of freedom inside, because the outside world is a crazy place.
Thanks so much for listening. Visit my website for support, losingyourparents.org, and remember, you gotta feel to heal.